Honorable Breitenbach, is it you next?
Thank you, Chair. Minister, I've known you for a long time, let me put that on record, and I have always held you in high regard, which I continue to do. I would like to discuss with you, first of all, your views on the STIR's requirements for an independent investigative body to deal with corruption and organized crime. And if I understood you correctly, your view was that IDAC is sufficiently independent. Did I misunderstand you?
There have been steps to improve IDAC's independence. I'm not sure that it's fully compliant with the STIR's requirements, which I consider to be mandatory because in one respect we do agree on the outcomes of the Glenister judgment. So I don't think that it was prescriptive. The judgment was prescriptive on what kind of institution has to be established, but it was prescriptive on what is required by the Constitution. And what's required by the Constitution is compliance with the STIR's mandates.
So we absolutely agree on that point.
Yes.
And the independence that it refers to, in my view, is that it should be independent of control by the executive.
Yes.
And impartiality is a different issue. So it should be both, but it can never be truly independent while it's housed within the National Prosecuting Authority. Do you agree?
Not quite. You see, so I am where I think I didn't agree with your certain elements of your proposal is that I think that the power to prosecute and investigate, which is a policing power, must be subject in a democracy to political accountability. You can't have prosecutors in a democracy who are not accountable in some way to an elected government.
We agree.
So accountability is not the same as independence. Now, I think that if you house, IDAC is properly housed in the Department of Justice. But the Department of, the NP, the National Director of Public Prosecutions, in our view of the Council, has to be independent of the Department of the accounting of the DG. And so that means that it has control over its budget, its appointment, how the DPP is appointed, needs attention. The President did introduce a new process, which I think is a positive development.
It is.
And if the IDAC is housed there, then I don't think that that the fact that overall it's in the Department of Justice is problematic, because I'm not aware of any democracy where such agencies are completely independent of the elected branches of government. And I think that would be a dangerous precedent, because you then have a situation where you have a privately funded body that has the public power to prosecute, that is, to send people to jail. You know, that's an awesome power. Democracies have ways of ensuring that, or ensuring accountability, but I don't. But you know, the system has shown a certain fragility over time. Now we've got to draw some lessons, strengthen those institutions by complying with the constitutional mandates which are clearly established now, both in our domestic law and internationally.
So, you see, the difficulty I have with the approach that you're taking is that, the institution that we envisage is not privately funded, it's funded by Treasury, just negotiated directly without the interference of the Department of Justice. And B, it's accountable to Parliament, like any other Chapter 9 institution. So all the Chapter 9 institutions come to the Justice Portfolio Committee, they're held accountable. So there's no issue with accountability. Accountability is a prerequisite, of course. But while it's housed within the National Prosecuting Authority, and you will recall that you referred yourself to the DSO, the Scorpions, and you agreed that that was a good model and an effective model. But as soon as it became uncomfortable for politicians, they disbanded them because all they need is a 50% plus one in Parliament. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. So it gives you no security of tenure. Muscle memory of people involved in the criminal justice system will never forget that. People who were doing a good job were punished for doing their job, they were fired, they were closed down. There's nothing preventing that happening to IDAC. And while that is the case, nobody really worthwhile will go and work there because they know they have no security of tenure. When they do their job, and they do it properly, and they go after the people who are connected, they'll get closed down. And that is our issue. And so it does not meet, in my view, the requirement for independence.
Chair, look, I mean, there are versions of your proposal which did suggest that it could be privately funded or draw substantial in private funds. So we agree that would be a very dangerous model. Now, your second argument is that parliamentary oversight is sufficient. I don't agree. I think that, I mean, the Parliament is a large body made up of many members, different parties. It's often very contentious. I think that the issue is here that there has to be accountability to an elected government, whether it's a majority government or a GNU type government. There has to be. The issue, though, that you raise, how then do you ensure insulation from improper political interference? Because like you, I think we have to learn from the DSO experience. Kenya had the same experience. They set up an anti-corruption body. It was dismantled when it went after senior politicians, and now they've got a new anti-corruption agency, which, by the way, is modeled in a way that learns from our constitution. They use that as a model. So I think that the solution to the potential problem of political interference is not to create an institution which is entirely independent of the executive branch. Now, and there is no foolproof example. Let me take what's happening in the United States. You've now got, they've got a constitution which is 200 years old. They have embedded institutions, and now you've got a president who says, you know, I can interfere with, I can decide who's prosecuted, not prosecuted, because my political opponents were doing it. So countries, I don't think there's a foolproof solution. We have Chapter 9 institutions. What's been our experience with the public protector? It is insulated, it is constitutionally protected. But now we have a public protector who's doing a good job. We had a public protector at one stage who was doing an excellent job. And then we had an interim period where we had a problem. So there's no foolproof, you know, there's no
Chair,
foolproof.
is there relevance
mechanism.
in this? Point of order, Chair.
May we please not round the minister and allow him to respond to the benefit of Honorable Breitenbach.
So, you know, I think that you raise a legitimate
Point of order,
question.
Chair. I just want to know the relevance of this one. where a public protector is doing good and not doing good. What is that? What is that, Chair?
The Honorable Breitenbach has said she has not heard anything, so it is only fair that we allow her that opportunity to get the response, and then we can take the point of order.
So my response to the member Breitenbach's question is that constitutional methods for insulating bodies from political interference. There's no blueprint. A lot depends on the incumbents, on the people who are appointed to serve in these positions. So our experience with the Chapter 9 institutions which are set in place to guarantee accountability. Some have
We should all work together in the benefit, to the benefit of the country.
you don't even have to you don't have to persuade me that that's what's required.
Thank you, Minister. I have many more questions, but I've sadly run out of time. So thank you.
Honorable Shongwe.
No, Chair, I wanted to establish the point of a good public protector. Was that public protector good because they protected money under the sofa of the president? Is that a good public protector?
Minister.
Chairperson, I'm tempted to say that wasn't a point of order. Can I say that?
Don't take that chance.
I don't
Don't fall for that trap. Don't take that chance. Just answer one thing. Do you think the public
But you are
protector
not
was
the
good
chair.
in putting
You
the
are
money
not
under
the
the
chair.
mattress and saying the
Even if
president
they
was
can
correct?
laugh for you.
Which South African can put money under the sofa
not the
and
chairperson.
be told is correct? Which South African can do that? Only President Ramaphosa can do that in South Africa and be told that it is accurate by your public protector that you deem good. And you are not the chairperson.
I appreciate that.
No. Honorable members.
Honorable of the DA, you can't be saying stuff that you are not afraid of people. Don't take it there. Please don't take it there. Please, Honorable, don't take it there. Through you, Chair, please.
No, wait.
Through you, Chair, do not ever say that you are not afraid of people. What does it mean? Through you, Chair, what does it mean to say you're not afraid of people?
Chair, I'm not afraid of toy soldiers.
I'm not going to be threatened by anybody, especially not anybody in here.
They're not afraid of you.
I'm waiting.
They're trying
for
so
you.
hard to intimidate us. We'll never be intimidated by
Honorable
you.
members, I'm waiting for you to make an indication to me how much time do you need to engage in these shenanigans. Because what you want to do now is not in any way related to the business of the ad hoc committee. But because I'm a benevolent chairperson, and you may need some time to do other things. If you also want me to allocate your time to to jog for some 15 minutes outside the chambers, I can allocate you that time. You sprint some 100 or 200 meters, you come back. Yeah, Honorable Skosan.
It's unfortunate that, I don't want to talk politics here again, the issue of GNU. The question was to the Honorable Minister, to the acting minister. I don't know why other members are getting some palpitations or high blood. Honorable Shonga was asking the minister a simple question. Now he's being intimidated people because he's talking about the president. It's unacceptable. It's him who invited that. He said there was a public protector, then there was this, there was that. Now he is making a follow-up question. He's asking him, why are they interfering?
Let me.
No, it's wrong. Protect other honorable members. Because now he says that Honorable Cameroon, the statement which he uttered here is unacceptable.
No.
Because if we do that, this house will degenerate. Please.
Let me come in. Let me come in, honorable members. I have warned you earlier on during the proceedings that if you act in common purpose, you don't become a victim. It doesn't happen. There is no way you can become a victim when you act in common purpose. When there is a foul, the referee blows the whistle, you retaliate, you are sent out of the pitch. You are given a straight red for retaliation. Yes, that's what happens. Once the whistle is blown, you don't retaliate. So, because if you retaliate, you act in common purpose, you are no longer a victim. You see, if you want me to order you to come here, and then you want to be Big John Tate and Kherikotsi here, we can afford that opportunity. We have an obligation. The reason why they call us honorable members, it's not just a cheap tag that you can get at a flea market. They call you honorable members because they place a heavy obligation on you to be exemplary in terms of the manner in which you conduct yourselves as leaders. And we have to accord this house the decorum that it deserves. But even yourselves as individual citizens of this country, let me remind you that each one of you has a right to a good name. When you walk on the streets of South Africa, the people of South Africa must look at you with admiration. Some people must even wish to be like you. But if we conduct ourselves in a manner that we disappoint people who know us, that we disappoint people in our surroundings, I can tell you, we are not doing justice to our names. We are not doing any justice to our families. We don't do any justice to people who talk about us every day. Please, honorable members, before you open your mouth to speak, think about your right to a good name. Please, do not soil your reputation. Honorable Nomval.
Chair, so that we don't set a good precedent in this House, Chair. Honorable Cameroon has referred to us as toy soldiers. So may he withdraw that, if it's unparliamentary, unless it is parliamentary, Chair.
Look, what I'm not going to do is to pinpoint each one of you to withdraw. I want you to silently withdraw everything wrong that you said.
No, but Chair, we have not used any unparliamentary term. And if we have done so, it's members who must say, Nomvalo has said this and he must withdraw. We can't generalize it, Chair. He referred to us as toy soldiers, and as far as I know, they are honorable members here. They are not toy soldiers. So, unless it's going to be permissible for us to give each other nicknames, because I've got a very good nickname for him, which I can use if he refuses to call us. I mean, if he refuses to withdraw, calling us toy soldiers.
But why do we have to inject fear in each other if we are honorable members?
No, it's not fear, Chair.
Honorable
It's a matter of
Cameron,
principle.
did you use the phrase toy soldiers?
Chair, I absolutely did use it after Honorable Skosana said he would deal with us. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
What did Honorable Skosana say? What did he say?
There were two specific comments, Chair. The first one was that they would deal with us. And then apologies for the language, but one of the members pointed at me and Honorable Breitenbach and said they would donor us. So yeah. So I will gladly withdraw.
Okay. That is, thank you so much for the nobility of thought. The honorable member who has said, I will donor you, is the honorable member prepared to withdraw?
Chair, I only said I will donor you, I'll fast trap you.
I be a man,
Remove-
withdraw.
That's only what I said.
Yes,
After you said what he
I
said.
want to check if you are
I was
prepared.
just telling him, I more a boy, a donor, like fast trap a boy. That's what I wanted to make sure that he
I
gets
want
that
to-
one.
I
So
want
if
to check-
he apologizes, then I'll apologize for that, Chair. Apologizing. Angidlali nomfana. Ngiyaxolisa sihlalo.
Look, I want you to listen to this, honorable members. You know, if you say something wrong to me, to the extent of me being humiliated or my integrity being impugned upon, and I say something back, I talk back to you. If I'm requested to apologize, I'm going to apologize unconditionally. Whether the person who said something bad about me apologizes or withdraws the statement, to me it does not matter. What matters to me is that I would have acknowledged the wrong on my part that I would have made, and I will apologize for that wrong. If the next person does not see befitting to them to do so, there is no way I'm going to force that person for them to apologize for that. Human beings who are very different. The values to which we subscribe are different. And the people who hold us in high regard are also different. Others may not see anything wrong in the manner in which we behave, whereas others will do so. So each one of you, you know the people you represent, the kind of the people they are. If they approve of your conduct, so be it. And if the people who follow you do not approve of your conduct, you must always find it desirable to stand up and say, the manner in which I conducted myself is not in keeping with the standards or the expectations of people of South Africa, and for that I want to apologize. It's not something that that must derail us. It can't derail us the way it does if we really want to live up to the expectation of being honorable members. I was going to allocate your time to speak, Honorable Matthias. Do you still want to speak? Listen to what I'm saying to you. I'm going to give you time to make a follow-up question. And when you are done with your follow-up question, I'm going to allocate you your right to speak. Listen, now you ask the follow-up question. Honorable Cameron, just before you leave, you are not leaving because you are running away. You are leaving because you have informed the chairperson
We
that
don't know.
at 16 hours you are going to request to leave. Am I correct? Yeah, but that you have also taken leave with the chairperson. It's not because you are disenchanted or because you are running away, but because at lunchtime you came to the chair and say, sometimes around 16 hours, I'm going to request to be released. Correct? Thank you so much. Thank you.
Disenchanted is a big word, he doesn't understand it.
Thank you, Chair. Acting Minister, on the Public Protector, you said except for a questionable one. Which Public Protector were you referring to?
Maybe it's better if we just deal with issues of principle. I think that I think that the
Acting
public,
Minister, just the name.
No, I'm
You said it.
Yeah.
You said except for a questionable Public Protector. Which one were you
yeah,
referring to?
I think there was a period of time when
Just the name.
I do not want to, I've been careful. I
But
don't
then
want
you
to be.
shouldn't say that, Acting Minister. Chair, I think we
Yeah.
need your intervention because we just need the name of the Public Protector that the Acting Minister was referring to. Then you must say that. because he's
Chairperson, I
not
don't
saying.
think I can be compelled.
The Acting Minister is saying he doesn't want to say the name, but he throws shade around. We don't know which Public Protector he's referring to.
What do you want the acting minister to do?
To tell us which Public Protector the Acting Minister was referring to when he said
Okay.
there was a questionable.
Okay.
Public protector.
He had the question. What is your response, acting minister?
I don't think it adds any value to in
But it's
this
for us to
inquiry to mention names, and I mean, I was giving an example. I was making a point about whether or not constitutional arrangements guarantee the kind of outcomes, accountability outcomes we're seeking. That was the point I was making. Not so much who's good and who's bad. I think that is to debase the discussion. It's not really
No, but
relevant.
on a point
But-
of order,
but
Chair, I think the
Honourable
Acting
Chair, I
Minister
think
is digressing. That's not what I'm
I think
asking.
I can
And he
answer-
also doesn't.
Yeah.
No, it's on a
Okay.
point, and also I'm on a still on. And I'm on a point of order, Chair. We're not going to decrease. He doesn't know what my next question is going to be. And it's a follow-up question talking about the issue of independence and political interference. If the Acting Minister did not want to decrease, he shouldn't have mentioned it in the first place. So either he must withdraw that or he must tell us which Public Protector is he referring to. Because then we're going to talk about the political interference, which is within the terms of reference of our ad hoc committee.
Acting minister, do you want to mention the name of that public protector, or do you want to withdraw that statement?
Well, if that's my choice, then I withdraw the statement.
The statement is withdrawn, honorable members. Do you want to start using your time now? Yeah? Okay, let's get to your time before you start. Let me allocate. It's now 15:43. Your 20 minutes will expire at 16:03.
We're not trying to be ageist or anything. How old are you?
I assume that you think the question is relevant. I'm born in 1958.
That's 66.
Yes.
What's the cutoff age for enrollment as a police trainee in South African Police Service? Do you know the cutoff age when they take in trainees?
As a trainee, you mean the young recruits? I'm not sure what the age is.
Yeah, it's 35 years old. And what is the age of retirement for a SAPS member?
60?
60 and then 65 by approval. You indicated that there were statements made by the former Minister Becky Cele, which you did not wish to associate with, if I heard correctly. What specifically are those statements?
Yes, I think this is an important matter. I mean, I was quite surprised by that particular testimony. So I think there is a question that all of us in public office have to ask about the company we keep. And I think that applies when you're in office and when you've left office. So I do not want to be to dwell on this matter. You might compel me to, but I do think that there is a general question of principle about how we conduct ourselves in public office, who we associate with, and to have statements. It's not acceptable to accept accommodation from a criminal, and it didn't appear as if my predecessor, one of my predecessors, considered that to be a problem. He didn't suggest that. And listening to him, I thought that that was not right. It's not giving the right message to the public. A lot of what we are apparently dealing with has got to do with such relationships. Relationships with middlemen, with lobbyists, with those who are peddling influence. And it turns out that some of them may be criminals. That can't be acceptable. It's not acceptable. And so it goes to, it's a question of judgment and probity when you are in a position of influence. And so I didn't agree with that his statements, those particular statements. I did point out that on his general analysis of the issues implicated in the decision to disband the PKKT, that I agreed with his assessment, his reasoning, rather.
Thank you, Acting Minister. So just to be clear, so outside of him having a meeting and accepting accommodation from Kat Maklala, is there anything else? Because that's the only thing that we know. Is there anything else that wasn't reported here as to the ad hoc committee that you know of that is questionable by the former Minister Becky Cele?
No, in fact, let me say, that's why I was surprised by the statement. I mean, I have known Becky Cele for a long time. We have belonged to the same organization. I had no, we're not personal friends. We're in the same organization and have had a respectful relationship when I have encountered him. And I was surprised by those statements. I haven't watched either the Madlanga Commission inquiry or this inquiry consistently throughout the day. I've been busy, so I've tried to watch as much as possible, but I didn't listen to all his testimony. I listened to parts of it, and that part jumped out at me. I thought that if the committee, for instance, is dealing with making recommendations for that will help the country move forward, to make recommendations on systemic reform, then that might be one of the questions to look at. I mean, how we manage conflicts of interest, and the implications of these associations, which appear to have become normalized in our politics, and I don't accept that.
The issue around designated functions for the deputy ministers have come up quite strongly. President Ramaphosa has given this responsibility to the ministers to do so. What is the process? Do you know what the process is of designating functions, which is different to responsibilities of saying, DM, go and represent me in the ad hoc committee or go, but designated functions?
So you can correct me. My understanding is that executive authority cannot be delegated. So a minister exercises executive authority on appointment by the president, exercising his or her constitutional functions. I do not think that the minister can delegate that a constitutionally authorized allocation of responsibility downwards, or to to a deputy minister. So deputy ministers don't exercise executive authority, but it doesn't follow that their role is. I've indicated in my when I was responding to the advocate's question, that the deputy ministers, especially in a large department like the police, do play an important role, and different ministers will have a different attitude. Sometimes there's the potential for conflict, because if a minister is exercising executive authority and they're the one, and you are held accountable, then you may be reluctant to share their responsibility. But that's not my perspective. I'm not saying that sometimes there aren't stress points in such relationships, but I have allocated important functions to them, and it shouldn't be, allocation may not be the right formulation, because we sat down together, discussed it as collegially. We also happen to be comrades, we're in the same party. Often that will be the case. If there were deputy ministers from another party, it wouldn't change my attitude. But I know these, the two of them personally. I respect them. I respect their role also in the organization I belong to. They are leaders in their own right. I respect that. So that helps in my relationship with them. I have to say both of them have been very, I think they've embraced my appointment and my presence. And I value that, because it could have been otherwise.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Acting Minister. I think you have sufficiently covered. You're going to use up all my time, I can just see, but lucky I don't have that many questions for you. Have you engaged the President about, because he came here to Parliament, and during his question and answers about deputy ministers, He indicated that deputy ministers, that ministers must designate functions that the deputy ministers are going to be responsible for here in Parliament and must answer to it. That's what he told us. So have you engaged him about that? Because sitting down and having an informal meeting with, or having a meeting with your deputy ministers and saying, okay, these are your responsibilities, seems to be a very different vibe from what we were told as members of Parliament, what is expected from the deputy or from the ministers. But I think we'll let that go. Speak to your president and get clarity, and we'll meet in the police portfolio committee on that issue. In your statement, Acting Minister, you said that you were appointed to the committee of experts that drafted the first versions of the constitutional principles. Let me get this right. So prior to 1990, did you at any stage engage or form part of the ANC's Department of Legal and Constitutional Affairs on the constitutional questions?
No, but I worked very closely with many of the members of that committee. I effectively, when I was in the Center for Applied Legal Studies as a researcher, worked on various projects led by Justice Albie Sachs. I engaged, I worked in ANC structures with Zola Squia and Kader Asmal and Bridget Mabandla. I knew them well, worked well, but I was, I would say at that point, quite junior. I was learning from them, just happy to have the opportunity to engage with some of those giants, yeah.
Okay, so that was prior to 1990, okay. Let's talk about your relationship with President Ramaphosa. How would you characterize that?
It's a very respectful relationship. He's the president. I might say he's our president. And I treat him with all the deference that a president should be treated with, in my view. I respect what he's accomplished. I have not always agreed with his point of view on some matters, but that, and I'm not going to be willing to explore those matters in this committee. I think he's been an important leader for South Africa in the post-capture era. But the problems we still have, we are lucky to have him as the president. That's my view.
Very good political answer. So outside your formal appointment as the chairperson of the National Anti-Corruption Advisory Council, do you engage with the president outside of that? Do you hang out by his house or at each other's homes? Do you have a friendship outside of the working relationship?
Can I say, even here, I think you will get respect from me if it's mutual.
Are you saying that because am I being disrespectful?
I think you should appreciate the fact that when you ask me a question, side comments are that's what they are, and you expect me not to respond, and I won't take the bait in general. But your question is whether I hang out with the president. No, I don't.
Okay, maybe I mustn't say hang out. So have you visited the president's home outside of your engagement before you were appointed as the acting minister?
No, I haven't.
You haven't. Any of his homes?
No.
Okay. Your relationship with Trevor Manuel, how would you characterize that?
We are close comrades. I think you might, because you're asking me questions about before 1990. I am 66 years old. I spent a lot of time in the struggle. I knew him in that capacity before he became an important minister. I knew him when he was in the trenches and when I was in the trenches. So I know him for a long time, and my relationship with him is based on our involvement in the struggle, not really on his position of high office after we achieved our democracy.
And then how would you describe your relationship with the late Minister Pravin Gordhan?
I miss him terribly. He was, in my view, an absolutely outstanding cadre of our movement and a public servant of unimpeachable integrity. He was subjected to a lot of abuse at times, completely without justification. But he lives on in our hearts and minds, and I believe in our history books.
Have you met or engaged Paul Sullivan?
No, I know he's quite famous, but I've had no engagement with him.
Okay. I'm done. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.